Check it. Oh, I think I got the fever. I'm heated. Pumping up the meter.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another PIPIN HOT episode. I wish we had like a...
PIPIN HOT.
You know, like those... I don't know if you've watched Mean Girls or whatever. I think it was Mean Girls. Or was it High School Musical? I can't tell. Though, whatever made you lose your...
Oh, that was Mean Girls, I think.
Remember? And
Yeah.
And they're like, whatever made you lose... I wish we also had like a PIPIN HOT podcast. Like P...
That's a P for me.
PIPIN HOT
Ta-da!
podcast? Isn't that just PHP? Pup.
Pup.
Welcome back to a pup.
I have to puff.
Puff. Welcome back to a PIPIN HOT podcast, everybody.
And today we're in our... we need to...
I said podcast. Podcast.
Intro.
What's the intro? What do you mean?
He's Faye.
Oh shoot, I'm Faye. Right.
And I'm Tay.
God passed. Forgot my name. I forgot to introduce us. Oh my gosh. Okay, forget about it. I'm Faye. She's Tay.
I'm Tay.
You know this. You know the shtick by now. If you don't, welcome.
Yeah, if you don't, where have you been?
Yeah, we talk about cool stuffs.
It made me sad, and that's why I'm in my feels today.
We're talking about feels.
What makes you cry?
Catch feels. Dum, dum, dum.
Do you feel like you cry easily?
Easily.
I cry so way
I
too
cry for
easily.
everything.
I cry way too
I
easily.
cry for a lot, man. Okay, so I've got a story.
Bro, you experienced that firsthand last time. Literally, just this cute song came on, and I was in tears. In tears. I just got in my feels over it.
Yeah, she did.
I got in my feels over Shania Twain of all things.
And we freaked out and we were like, is everything okay? And she's like, it's just such a cute song.
I was like, really?
And I really like it. And I was like, oh, hectic.
It was so embarrassing because I was having like my what do you call that? What's that singing movie? I was having my Pitch Perfect moment,
Pitch Perfect moment.
My Pitch Perfect moment, and I ruined it by crying.
Dude, it's okay. I also cry for stupid. I was telling her when this happened. It's such an embarrassing story. So I cry for a lot of things, movies as included, movies, TV shows, that kind of thing. And I cried once, and this kid. So we went to the movies with my boss, right?
Oh no!
My boss decided that they wanted to go to watch a Hindi movie, and Hindi movies are very dramatic and sad and stuff. And there was this part, and I cried. This grandpa was in the movie. And the grandpa was so cute and stuff. And the whole movie I'm telling, because my grandpa had passed recently at the time. And I'm like, while we were watching the movie, I'm like, it reminds me of my grandpa. And, and there was a part where he died. And it was so dramatic and sad. And I was just like, when I'm sad and I'm watching a movie, if I'm at home, okay, so I'm going to use Gengar here. When I'm at home, I like to hold something, like a pillow or something, and hold them, and I cry and whatever. And I didn't have one. I only had the box of popcorn. So I'm sitting there with a box of popcorn like this, and I'm just going, and I'm watching, and I'm crying, and I'm eating, and then my boss's kid. He's much younger than us, very small. He's I think he stands to yay high, I think. He's a small kid, still in primary school. So he was totally unfazed, by the way, by the movie.
Yeah, kids.
And he's sitting next to me, so he's now standing. I'm in the cinema and I'm thinking, and he's standing, and he's standing here, and he's legit looking at me like this, staring at me cry. So if say she can see, so if say the camera is me, just like this, looking at me, holding his knees and everything, looking at me yes, this guy's crying, and I'm bawling my eyes out, dude. I'm having a hard time. So it's flip. And when I came out the movie, he's like, yo, you cried, eh? And I'm it was sad.
Kids are brutal. Oh my god.
Yeah, I cry a lot too, dude, don't worry. I was so embarrassed.
To go on a tangent on the brutal kids thing, right? Man, that... Two things. There was this random kid on the plane.
Oh, no.
That was staring Craig down.
Oh, no.
Staring him down. And Craig is trying to be funny and stuff, and this kid is
just like
dead straight.
like
He was like,
looking right at them like,
he was looking him up and down to be like, you ain't even amusing.
oh, so he was just like,
Oh, that kid made me laugh so much.
oh my gosh.
And then the other day, warning, I have told this story before on the podcast. You're not imagining things. I'm just getting old. When we were at the party,
Yeah.
then, I did my hair very nice.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, as the day goes by, your hair changes. It doesn't stay as poofy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't my niece come to me and she's like, your hair looked really nice when you got here, but now it's flat on one side. And I'm like, oh, thank you, I guess. I don't know what to do about that.
Why are you telling me this? Leave me alone. Oh my god. I would have cried. I would have cried.
I was ready to cry.
I would have cried.
I was like, okay, thank you.
Speaking of this movie that we watched, right? That this kid cried at me. There's a part that I resonated with. It's a Hindi film. It's called Rocky or Rani Prem Kahani,
yeah.
right? Which basically loosely translates to Rocky and Rani's love story. And this Rocky guy, he's like a muscular guy. He likes to exercise and whatever, but he's very sensitive, Shem, and he's very sweet. And Shem's not like the smartest guy in the world, but he means very well.
Yeah.
And there's this part where like his girlfriend is busy like yelling at him because like he doesn't catch on these things. So she's like, okay, if we get married and whatever, where are we gonna stay? And he's like, by me. And she's like, by your parents, and they're gonna expect me to be this way and whatever. And she starts going off at him, and he stops her, and he's like, no, I'm not argue. I understand. Please handle with care. I'm fragile. And I'm like, me too, dude. Me too.
I need like a T-shirt that says fragile.
I also want one. I want this shirt that has like, don't yell at me, I'll cry. I want one like that. Because it was so accurate. I'm like, yeah, like me, I'm also fragile.
Yes. Oh my goodness, no.
Oh man, so I get you, dude. I would have cried if they told me that your hair looked nice, but now it doesn't.
But now it doesn't.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll go fix it in the window. Just give me a minute.
No, my feels are not completely different. The songs get me in my feels.
Same.
Bruh, there's one song I love so much, but it gets me in my feels. Two songs.
Oh yeah.
There's such beautiful songs, but every time I listen to them, I'm like, nope, I cannot spiral right now. My life is good. I'm happy.
Who are they by?
Number one is Glimpse of Us by Joji.
Ooh, Joji gets you.
Beautiful song.
Joji
Beautiful song. And it hits you in here, these feels.
Oh, I know,
but
Joji
man,
gets you for real.
I don't wanna spiral. That song makes me spiral out of control, bro.
Oh my days.
And the second one is What Was I Made For from Billie Eilish.
Oh.
Bruh.
Those are those songs where you skip
Beautiful.
them because you know they're gonna make you sad.
Yes, and I love them so much. And they're very earwormy.
Yeah.
I love them so much, but they get me in my feels.
No, I get you. I also have a couple that make me tear up, make me cry a bit. I can't think of any at the moment, but the minute I started thinking of that, a song did come to mind, but it's mainly because of the show. I'm talking Leaves from the Vine.
Leaves from the Vine.
From Avatar: The Last Airbender. Oh my god, that entire episode just made me cry. I cried.
If we're talking cartoon songs, it's not a song that made me sad, but it's a song that was very touching.
Yeah.
Is that I can't remember what it's called, but it's that song from Adventure Time where Marceline and Ice King are singing, and he's like. Something about remember you.
That one was
when
so
I don't
painful.
remember you.
Yeah. And he re-sings it with her.
Yes.
And then he's like, I don't understand the song, but it's a nice song. And then she cries a little bit.
Yes. That was very sad, but it didn't make me cry. But that was very sad.
That one was very sad. Leaves from the Vine. In fact,
that's something
Tales of Ba Sing Se makes me cry every time.
That whole epised, it's like trauma locked out of my head. I cannot.
Every single time I watch it, I cry. Every time. And there's two parts specifically that make me cry. The Momo's Tale, where he keeps looking for Appa and he can't find him.
That was pretty sad.
It broke my heart. And it literally he found a tuft of hair and he tied it on his arm. and then he got chased by like some animals or whatever while he was looking for it, and then he made friends with them and everything, and then he went to a place where he thought that he'd find it, and it's empty, and he lays there, and it's his footprint. Yo, it broke my heart.
That was pretty sad.
Broke my heart. Broke me to pieces. That one made me cry, and then also the other tale with Iroh.
Yeah.
And it ends with Leaves from the Vine.
Again, I don't want to think about it.
That one is so painful. It's so
I'm just
painful.
gonna.
It just makes me sad, man. But
Just gonna take it and.
oh man, it's just too much. So I cry for that. What's another one I always cry for?
I don't know if you ever watched Land Before Time.
I have.
I cry for that song.
I cried for the part where he loses his mom.
That song that plays when he loses his mom.
yeah.
It's the song they play during the credits as well.
Yes.
And as a kid, I used to sing that song so much because my mom and I always used to sing the Land Before Time songs together.
Yeah.
And I never understood how sad that song was.
That one is sad. That one is
Until
sad.
now, I can't even listen to it like nostalgically without being
That
like,
one is sad.
you know?
That one is very sad. Oh my gosh. No, that one is hella sad. Oh, also makes me cry. There's another one. I can't. It wasn't Land Before Time. But it also makes me just. My heart just stops. It like breaks.
You know what movie I've watched as a kid, but I didn't understand it, and I will never watch it now.
Yeah.
All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Oh yeah. I was gonna go with what's the movie with the balloons and the house? Up. Frick! I cried.
No.
My God, I cried.
I just have to. Even the happy part of that song, I just hear that, and I'm like.
I cried. Oh, that one just my heart, dude.
No.
And you know what's the point of that song? Is that they play it in the beginning. It's happy and it's sad, and it's meant to show you that he lost something.
Yeah.
Did you realize that they played it at the end when he made friends with Thingy, to show that he filled that hole of that man that he lost? And I was like, I'm okay. I'm okay.
No.
Yo, I cried.
That whole all dogs go to heaven thing, I can't do that because I saw one scene.
I won't be able to watch it today.
One scene on Instagram where it was like the ending and this little girl was lying in bed and she's like, I'm going to miss you. And I was like,
And
he was like, don't worry, I'll always be watching.
Yeah, he came to say goodbye. He came to say freaking good. And he comes as a ghost and she doesn't notice.
Yes.
Oh.
No. How are we making movies like that as people? How are we making the 90s were
tore me
unhinged,
apart.
bro.
Tore me apart.
Unhinged.
And he's like, I'll miss.
Bruh.
And he gives him, and she has another dog.
Yes.
And then he says, no, he'll look after you while I'm gone. And she's like, okay, I'll miss you. And I was like, oh my soul.
No.
That was such a sad movie.
No, I could never do it now. I cry.
I won't lie. It hits the soul. It hits the soul. You were speaking about Simon and Marceline earlier. Did you watch the new one, Fun and Cake? Not Fun and Cake,
Fiona
and Cake. Yeah.
No.
So I saw a couple scenes, and there's a lot about him and his Betty.
Yes.
And they had a very tragic relationship.
Yes. No,
I mean, even from
tragic.
from the original series of Adventure Time, you see a bit of it. But there's this part that also just tears me apart at the end, where he realizes that he wasn't very thoughtful for her during the relationship, and he tries to change it in a memory. And in the memory, he says to her, no, this isn't how it happened, And she says, I know, but I don't regret it for a moment. And then he's like, they go back to the normal way things go, and the dialogue remains the same. Like, they're aware that this is a memory.
Yeah.
And she says, you were wonderful experiences. And he says, you were pauses, and says, everything. And then she leaves in the bus and she becomes like Gold Betty and she goes, and I was just like, my heart cannot take this pain. Oh my God. And I cried, man. I'm such, damn. Feels, okay.
Feels.
Man. Making me feel like crying now.
Oh, man.
Damn, I cry for a lot. I won't lie. I cry for movies, I cry for TV shows, cry for songs, man.
I get so embarrassed when I cry when I'm watching stuff. I get so embarrassed because I'll always be watching with Craig, but I always have to hide like this.
I do.
I don't want him to see that I'm crying over this.
I do as well, but I gave up trying to hide it. If I'm crying, man. Like, there's this one. it's from a movie, but Shah Rukh Khan. You guys know Shah Rukh Khan, SRK, right?
Yeah.
Shah Rukh Khan, he does this thing where like he was a very big softie in the older movies and used to cry a lot and things, but in the acting, and there's this one where he was crying, and it's become like my whole personality. And like the meme says, like when I've been sad or something and it's time to go or whatever, or my friends call me and stuff, and it's literally got a scene where he goes, and then he puts on a glass and he goes, and he walks on with his life, and I'm like, oh my god, that's me. I'll cry and I'll go, okay, moving right along, I'm good.
No,
That's exactly what it's like.
once it starts, it has to like the dam has to run dry.
Well, you know what we'll do?
And then I'll stop.
Can we put that meme here as well? Like
Yeah.
when I say that, because then that would be good. They'll see it like that, and then he just walks away. It's so brilliant. I can find it for you. It's such a good meme. That one's my favorite. That's me. That's me.
Gosh, the
God.
feels, man.
I got a lot of feels. Yeah. I won't lie.
Feels.
Do you ever? Oh, this is a very specific question because I don't do this. But do you ever think about the way things were, or like exes and stuff, and then cry? I don't do that. But I do cry when I remember how. This is a very specific thing. Like, I don't think about an ex and then cry.
Yeah, not out of missing.
No,
Not out of missing, but almost out of. You feel like done wrong, or not done wrong, even just like annoyed. You cry out of annoyance.
I cried this one time when I was watching something and the relationship reminded me of how happy I was
Yeah.
in that time. Like when we were together before, obviously things like ended well poorly, and that's when I was like, oh. And then that's when I cried because I'm like, that was us, you know. And I was like, damn. So it was a very specific thing that triggered that
Thoughts.
thought for me to cry over
Actually,
something.
no. Okay, in that context, no. I don't have anything like that because I don't. This is not in our shame, all the good relationships I've had. But I don't think I've had anything as good as the one I'm in now.
Aww. That's flippin'
I
cute.
wouldn't say I was ever happier in any other relationship, even the ones that ended badly.
I mean, well,
than I
me
am
neither,
right
but
now.
I'm not particularly in a relationship now, so that doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
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 No, I would say I'm pretty much at my happiest now than I've been like my whole life, maybe.
So cute. Good for you, man. Good for you.
But I still cry.
I also cry. I cry for everything, man.
I cry for everything.
There'll be a cute like ad and I'll cry. I'll cry. I'll be like, oh shame. You know, I'll be like, what meant worth? You know what makes me cry though? I cry for like things with animals, like dogs and stuff.
Yeah.
And like I remember I watched the third Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Yo man, that one ends really well.
Okay, no, I cried.
Did you watch it?
Yeah. I cried even though people warned me I'm gonna cry.
So that one.
And I tried not. I'm so glad
cried.
because Craig already watched it once, right?
It was so sad.
He watched it once, and then when he was watching it with me, he fell asleep. So I felt free to cry while he was asleep.
I cried. The thing is, it's so sad. The one thing I'll give the Guardians of the Galaxy one is that there's vindication and it ends really well. But like,
Yo, you gotta go through a lot to get
you
to
gotta
that good
go
ending.
through it,
Bruh.
man. Like while you're there, you're like, no, oh my god, you know.
It broke my heart. The movie broke my heart.
Shame, I won't lie to you. That was so brutal. But I felt good about Rocket, and like I felt good for him afterwards. You know, I was like, yo, you actually turned out really good, despite all of that, and you've saved some animals and things. You know, it was good. But yo, I cried. I cried for that one, man.
You know what I cried for? I don't know if you watched the most recent. I'm just looking at this guy, and it reminded me. You know what I'm talking about?
Cuban one.
No, not the Cuban one. The most recent Ash's Gengar.
No.
So the story of Ash's Gengar, his Gengar he's got now,
Yeah.
right? This Gengar had a trainer that didn't like him.
No, I saw it. I saw it.
And they left him at a house for years and years and years and years, and he waited.
And he waited.
And he waited.
I saw it.
That made me sad.
That made me sad. The one the Cuban one was so brutal.
That
bro.
episode of Futurama where Fry's dog waits for him. And he was like, he's still at the end of the episode. He was like, no, he lived a good life. He probably forgot about me.
And he didn't.
He never forgot about him. I cried at that part where they showed him wait. I cried.
Do you know which one I cried on for Futurama? The one where he was upset with his brother, thinking that his brother stole his life and everything. And then you find out that his brother loved him so much. With everything he had. His brother named his kid after him, man.
Bruh, for sure that around a lot. I wish they would around with the feelings.
When I saw that, and Fry realized that he named his brother after him because he loved him so much, and he gave that thingy that he quote unquote stole, that I think it was a clover or something, and was that to his kid, and he's like, this was my brother's and he was the best and I named you after him and I love him so much, and I hope you live up to his name. And the son was like, I will, and he lived the best life. And I was like, yo, Pain, I'm gonna cry, I'm crawling into a hole and just die now, because that was so freaking sad.
Speaking of sad TV shows, Golden Girls.
Oh yeah,
I've cried like so many times every single season for Golden Girls.
Oh yeah,
there's so many like really hard topics they touch on in those.
Oh yeah. You know, one of my favorite TV shows is How I Met Your Mother. I'll still cry for How I Met Your Mother.
Same.
There are scenes that just make me break, and one of them it's not even something I relate to. But the idea of it was so brutal. Like throughout the whole episode, there's a countdown, and it's like subliminal, like on the walls and stuff, and it's all about how Marshall was so. And all the episodes are leading up to that. Marshall is so excited to have a kid with what's her name, and they're trying, and a couple of episodes before, she got a little annoyed because he kept telling his dad everything, and it's like, okay, I'll keep some stuff away from my dad and whatever.
Yeah.
Because I get it. It's between you and me, and then later, when he realizes, because throughout the episode he's worried that he cannot have a kid.
Yeah.
And throughout the whole episode, when he finally realizes that, I can, it's not me, his dad passed away. And that was the countdown.
Yeah.
And he just falls apart. Like legitimately, when she tells him, he just breaks. And I was like, and I cry every time. I was like, oh no, dude. And it was just such a brutal blow to like the most happiest guy in the show, you know, like very few things could get him there, and that thing just ripped him to shreds. And I was like, oh no, my heart, dude, it just tore me apart, you know. And like even like the actor, when he gets to that part, the first thing he says is that he hugs her and he says, I'm not ready for this, because he was ready for everything.
Yeah.
Besides that, and that was just so brutal.
But you're never ready for it.
Tears me apart. That one makes me cry a lot, I won't lie. Yeah, the Pokemon one for me was. Did you see the Cubone one? The
Cubone one.
This Cubone is with these trainers and stuff, and they're chasing like this ghost apparition thing that they can't tell what it is. And when you beat it, the apparition around it disappears, and it's the Marowak. It's the Cubone's mama. And the minute the Cubone sees her, freaks out, goes there, reaches out to her, and she disappears, passes on, and it's just like. Okay. I'll
then.
just all right. And I'm like, this pure Cubone, man. I just wanna hug him and say it's gonna be okay, dude.
No.
Oh, and a Cubone already has a sad story with the whole like
skull thing.
Dude, no, it makes me cry. Yo.
Can I tell you one thing that didn't get me in my feels was the whole Fast and Furious 7 thing.
Which one was 7? I'm sorry. I don't remember.
The whole Paul Walker thing. That didn't get me in my feels. When he was like, they would drove off in different directions.
Okay, so no.
When I see you.
Okay, so that
didn't get me in my
specific scene didn't get me in my feels.
But I can see how it would have gotten fans in their feels.
So
I can't see that.
That specific scene didn't get me in my feels. Because I mean, I get it. He's never going to be there again or whatever. But that scene didn't get me in my feels. The part that got me in my feels, I think, wasn't even a scene. It was when we see them talking about him. It just, you can see they've lost someone.
Yeah.
Know? And that makes me cry.
They're not talking about a character. They're talking about.
Yeah. So like when they talk about him even in and out of the movie, you can feel there's this
attachment.
It's so brutal. Like one of my favorite things I've seen. I'm not a big Vin Diesel fan, right? No. But when there was this one award he was doing, And like he was like, oh, thank you so much. And then he was about to say something. You can see him look at the award. And I think the moment he looked at the award, it made him think of him.
Yeah.
And he like stops mid speech and he just like stands back and you can see what he's thinking about, you know? And that type of stuff just makes me be like, yo, damn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even like Tyrese.
Yes.
Yeah. So he was also really close with him, right? Because I don't know if you know, but Vin Diesel, I think, was apparently supposed to be in the second film. But he wasn't. And Paul Walker said, no, this dude's really good. We should have him in because they were real friends or something. Something like that. And then, so they were quite close. And he broke down when the guy passed away. He just he even said that was my brother, and he fell apart. And that stuff makes me cry because I realize these aren't just actors, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
these are people, you know. And
I say,
and Paul Walker,
family.
Oh no,
sorry.
Entendida que soy un bandolero que me voy. No, but genuinely, and I think that's. Because it's more real, it makes me cry. Yeah, because I think Fast and Furious, as good as the movie is, it's not a very good. The movie for me is not good at like getting that feels emotion from like that, like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Specifically with Paul Walker, because the character hasn't died. Brian hasn't died.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't kill him off. Otherwise, I think it would have been way more sad.
It would have been a way, yeah.
But when they're not acting, I think that's when you connect with them more. Because then you feel that connection to that character. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's when I cry for the Fast and Furious ones. Yeah. Yeah. Sad shit, right?
Man.
What else is a hot take for a character that you don't feel sad for?
What do you mean?
So like, some people they don't. This is a hot take for me. I feel sad for her. When I watched Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's easy to hate Azula.
I was going to say, the second you said Avatar Last Airbender, and this is a hot take, I was like, he's going to feel sympathy for Azula.
So it's easy to hate her, but at some point you realize this girl's a tragic.
She's a victim of circumstance.
She's so... It's hard not to understand
why she is the way she is.
Yeah, and I remember the moment I felt that. Up until that moment, I didn't feel anything.
Yeah.
It was the moment where they tied her up. And she started screaming and firing and crying. She broke down. And then that's when I realized, she's 15.
Yeah.
She's a kid.
Yeah.
Damn. You know, and that's when it like hit me that, whoa! Holy crap, you know, this poor girl. You know, she went through so much.
Yes.
And as much as she didn't handle it well, it's still a lot for a kid. You know? And I think I feel that one a lot. I feel that one. And I also feel the one where, you know, where Zuko goes to the mountain and yells at the lightning.
Yes.
And he's like, strike me. You've never held anything back. Strike me now. And then he just starts crying, dude. Also tears me apart.
Yeah.
Flip, there's so many in Avatar.
There's so many in Avatar. But if I had to think of a silly example of something I cried for, was the third Cinderella movie.
Oh, really? Did you cry for Cinderella?
I cried for that movie because the evil stepsisters managed to get hold of the fairy godmother's wand and they turned back time.
Oh no.
So that the prince never had the chance to fall in love with Cinderella. And it was like these constant moments of like they were just about to meet but then
no.
Like, something would happen. And it was so frustrating because then she sang, because she knew they were supposed to be together. She didn't lose her memories.
Oh no.
But he didn't recognize her. And I was like, but they're supposed to be together.
That's so much pain.
And yeah.
I didn't cry. I cried for, if I'm thinking Disney.
I cried for Coco.
I cried for Coco. Yo, Coco was... when
I cried.
Do you know when I cried for Coco is the moment where you realize that was his grandmom.
I cried at that
and
part.
And he goes to sing her the song?
I cried at the part where he sings the song. And I didn't cry for the rest of the time they sang that song.
So
just
sad.
that part where he sang and she starts singing.
And she lights up, my dude. Oh my
so
god. And then like when he's singing the song and she lights up, they like switch it to the past.
It makes me so sad.
And it shows him singing her the song the last time. And the last thing he says is, "Don't forget me, my daughter." And I was just like, oh my god.
Stop, you're going to make me cry.
I'm going to cry. You are broke.
Make me cry right now.
I broke. That one was really sad.
That one was sad. That was sad.
Damn.
I cried for
Stitch, I won't lie.
I cried for the second Stitch movie where he dies.
Yeah.
I
Same.
cried for
I
that,
also cried for
100%.
Stitch. Yeah.
I cried for that. I love that song so much. That the song about the two people that fell in love.
Yeah.
I cry for that song, man.
Yeah. I love The Lion King, but I don't think I cried for The Lion King.
I didn't understand that Mufasa died when I was a kid.
Yeah, same. I also didn't. I think I was
I didn't understand. I was like, why is he sad? Just tell him to wake up.
Just tell him to be fine.
Tell him to get up.
You know, Hakuna Matata, bro.
Hakuna Matata.
I
Just
didn't
walk it off.
I didn't understand it either, but I don't think I cried for that one.
I didn't cry either.
I didn't think I cried
didn't
for
cry
that
for that.
I don't think I cried for Aladdin either. Which one did I cry for?
Why would you cry for Aladdin?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of my favorite like Disney films and what I would. Okay, no, I did cry in Mulan.
Reflection. Yeah. I was just gonna say
Cried a
Mulan
little
had
bit
me.
there, yeah.
Mulan had me in a chokehold.
That
bro.
one was. Holy.
Whoa!
I won't lie. I felt for the girl.
Mulan had me in a chokehold.
Yeah, that one I cried for. Yeah, definitely. There's a good ones, a couple of ones. Did you cry for any animes? I cried for Your Lie in April. Man.
I cried for Your Lie in April, and I've never actually been invested in an anime ever since then. Out of fear of my heart being ripped to shreds.
I won't lie. Ever since that one, I've struggled to watch a like romance.
Ever since then, I've struggled to watch any anime that's not DBZ Super or
it's so
Pokemon.
hard. It's so hard to watch something that you care about. Because that one was brutal. I won't lie. That one was
No. Oof.
That one I cried. I cried.
I love
for
it
full.
so much, and I would watch it again.
I can't watch it again. No, I can't watch it. I cried for Full Metal Alchemist before a different reason.
Oh yeah. I know a lot of people had their feelings.
I
about
cried for Full Metal Alchemist, but mainly because of the brother thing. You know, like I feel like if you don't have a brother, you might not get it.
Yeah.
But like, it's such a brutal story about brothers, you know.
Oof.
And like, it's just these two brothers trying to bring back their mom, and it doesn't work, and the one brother loses his whole body. You know,
I don't know if you ever watched the movie.
and it's such an intense story. I won't lie.
Did you ever watch Wolf Children?
Yes,
That I cried.
I also cried.
I cried Wolf Children. I cried Your Name.
I cried for Princess Mononoke as well.
Yes.
That one also made me cry. The part where she was like trying to hurt him,
Yeah.
and she like stabbed him or something, and he like hugs her. I was just like,
I didn't cry as a kid. I
I'm gonna cry now.
I didn't cry as a kid at this part, but I cried as an adult recently watching this Spirited Away again.
Oh, yeah.
The part where she sits down and she just starts crying, and he's like, "Eat, it'll make you feel better."
Yes, because she like that part where it's all sinking in that she lost her parents, and
I'm like,
because up until that point it's like
up until that point she was okay,
what's happening? You know what I mean?
and I think just that like visceral raw crying just awakes something in you, bro.
Yeah, it does. No, that one was very sad. That one was sad. I won't lie. There's some good ones there. There's some good animes to cry for. I won't lie.
I never want to cry for anime again. I that's the reason I despise anime now, man.
I've
Unless I know it's like really like happy-go-lucky slice of life stuff, I'll watch it. But anything else, I'm not invested for feels
I can't
anymore.
even say I'm currently watching Jujutsu Kaisen. It just feels.
No. I stopped that because of that.
It's a lot of trauma, but it's an action one. But that one, okay. So this one's built like a Harry Potter kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Where the trauma is meant to build the character's motivation. Where people will die. And then
how come I must have trauma then as well?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing.
Oh gosh, no.
I cry for a lot. Have you ever cried for something that you always cry for that you shouldn't be crying for?
Like
in a movie or something.
that I shouldn't be crying for.
Yeah. I cry in Forrest Gump when she tells him that that's his kid.
That I didn't cry, but
I cried.
very, very touching.
I can't tell you why I cried, but it just makes me cry.
Very touching things I can cry for. Like, I think it was at the end of Endgame where Captain America, you realize Captain America stayed in the past.
Oh, yeah.
And then it cuts back to him and his wife dancing in the...
Yeah.
It's Been a Long Time.
Yeah.
I think it's by Kitty Helen or something like that.
Yes.
That made me cry. But just the overall vibe.
I don't know, that made me happy for him.
It made me cry out of happiness. It made me cry because I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that's so
I cried,
cute.
I won't
it's
lie.
like such a perfect moment. That made me cry.
I won't lie, I cried for Thor.
Which one?
Like,
When?
Not the Thor movies.
Oh,
But
in general.
there was this one where I can't tell you which part of Thor, because there's a lot of Thor. But it's this part. So there was this one I cried for Thor. I don't remember which Thor movie it was, but it's such a subtle thing because it's easy to ignore. But it's at the point where you realize how much he's gone through. I think he was talking to his mom or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wasn't that Ragnarok?
No, it was Endgame or something. He went back in time or some
Oh,
shit.
then that was Endgame, yeah.
And she's like, Thor, are you from the future or some shit? And he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, that was
"No."
Endgame.
And she's like, oh boy, I'm from witches or something.
Yeah.
And you can't lie to me. And he's like, yes. And he like kind of breaks down and he cries because that's his mom, you know. And then she says, no, you can't tell me what's happening. And I think at that point you realize everything this boy has gone through up until this point. He's lost his love. He's lost his brother. He's lost his father. He's lost his powers. He's lost everything. Everything. And he failed. He killed Thanos, but after Thanos killed everyone,
yeah.
he's just so broken at this point. And the one person he would have wanted to see
Is her.
his mom.
Yeah.
And his mom recognized him.
Yes.
And I think that's why he just said yes, and he just started crying. And I was at that point I realized this is so much more of a character than people realize. And I think I just cried. I was like, shame. This guy has lost everyone in front of him, and he's still going.
Still going. Still
you know?
going.
And I think that's why that scene where right afterwards where he calls Mjolnir and it comes to him, and like even Rocket makes fun of him, and she's like, oh, he's always, and even his mom is like, oh, he's always like this or whatever, and he's like, I'm still worthy. And even though they played it off like a joke, why that scene was so important is because he himself recognized that I have crumbled. I've thrown I've given up. I can't even do, I'm fat. You know, like he was at his worst moment.
Yes.
And the fact that the hammer still recognized him as worthy was something he just
needed.
You know,
Just needed in that moment.
you know, and it was such a good scene. I think I cried for that, and I shouldn't have cried because it made me look like I'm stupid.
No, that makes sense.
I think if people looked at me and they were like, "Are you okay?" and I'm like, "He's just gone through so much, man."
No, that makes sense in my opinion.
yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, man, we better wrap this up before I start
Yeah,
crying.
I'm feeling the tears right here.
Yeah, we better wrap this up before I start crying for real.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. If there's something that you cry about,
Yeah,
please
give
put
us
it in the
something that
comments.
makes you sad.
Cry with us, please.
Please.
Anyways, we'll see you next time. Bye. Now I wanna